Well, good morning. Um, just wanted to show you guys the map really quick. We are here, still near Bernard Loop. We're gonna travel to here, then hopefully I want to come around here, around Bernard's, try maybe Horsehead Nebula, and then maybe check this one out right here. It's a little bit higher on the map, or it's okay. Oh wait, there it was. Orion Dark region, and then I thought about trying to travel over to here, ultimately to that nebula, the sea, and then possibly try to travel to nebula, being Rosette, and then there was right here. Okay, there's that one. Jellyfish Nebula. And then I thought, well, I mean, I could always try this one too. The Monkey Head Nebula. Wow. Okay, hadn't seen that one yet. Monkey Head. Ooh. And we could always, take a little tour, Maybe go to this one. Solar Nebula, Heart Nebula. And there's another one down here. There's a nebula. Anyways, but, I was thinking about working my way and coming around this way and to see all these little nebulas that are popping up. Just kind of make my way all the way back and all the way over to here, where I think all the fun stuff would be. Yep. The heart of our galaxy. That's where I want to wind up. So I figured we could skip off of all these little nebulas and stuff like that. Look at all these little guys all the way over. So we have something to do. We're just going to play around for now. But anyways, it's early morning and I don't want to do too much, hacking and coughing and clearing my throat and making noise and drinking my coffee and all that fun stuff. So I will be turning off my microphone. But before I do, I wanted to tell you a quick little story before we take off. So my other daughter comes to me yesterday, and this is funny how us video gamers operate. So she says, "Dad, I want to buy my first TV." Okay, no problem. I said, "What do you want?" And she says, "Well, I don't know anything about TVs. I don't know anything about them." And I was like, "Ooh, I don't know a whole lot about them either." I says, I only use basically 2 plugs on a TV. I don't use none of the other stuff. I don't I don't go into system menu functions and all this other stuff and try to figure out all these weird things, I only need 2 things. Netflix and be able to play video games. That's all I need. And I go, "Well, what do you want?" And she goes, "Well, I want to watch Netflix." And I said, "Well, you don't have a cable box, so you're going to need like a smart TV or something with a Netflix app." So that's kind of easy. "What else do you want?" And she goes, "Well, I want it to look good." And I said, "Well, just tell them that you need a TV that you can play video games on and watch Netflix, but there's no cable box or anything, so it has to be able to communicate with the Wi-Fi box, the Wi-Fi network and stuff. It's pretty simple." I said, "That's all you got to tell them. You just tell them how much money you have, and you say, hey, it's got to be able to play video games, a PS4, very specific, and it's not going to have a cable box or anything, but it's got to be able to access the Wi-Fi network and have a Netflix app that the TV runs itself, so it's like basically a smart TV." I said, "That's the simplest thing. Any kid could tell you that one. That's all they got to do is tell them that. It doesn't matter how they could be dealing with a guy that works there and doesn't really know anything about TVs except for one thing. if he knows how to play video games and he wants a TV that's going to look good, that guy's going to know what one's going to work. And that's what I was telling her. I said, even the kid that's going to buy the TV is going to know what's going to work, because they're just going to look at the graphics and they're going to say, can I plug it in? Well, yeah. Can I turn it on that way? Well, yeah. Well, then it works. So yeah, it's just funny that you don't have to know anything about something like that, and all you have to do is you can completely go around it. And see, and that's what I try to impress upon my kids, is to fix the problem, but do it in a way where you really learn something, and you learned how to get what you wanted, you know, without having to sit there and learn everything about it. It's like having somebody show you how to build a shed without even ever have had build a shed before, and then on top of it, you know, it was easy to do. Why? Because he showed you, you know, versus you just sitting there trying to figure out how to make one. You know, this basically something similar to that. You know, you want a good TV, you want to play video games on it, you want to sit there and be able to get on Netflix and do fun stuff like that. That's all you gotta say. You don't have to know anything about TVs other than it has to work with those two things. Anyways, and one of the things I'm having a little bit of a difficult time with is when I'm getting onto this map. I want to show you guys this really fast. So I want to jump from here to here. I guess that the game only wants me to go so far. So the max distance that it wants to really look at when it comes to doing them, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's because I've never been outside of, you know, this area that I started from, being back over here. I don't know, but I can't just say, hey, I want to click this one way over here, and it's not going to give me my trajectory for that long of a distance. It doesn't want to do it. So, I don't know. I'll talk to my son a little bit more and try to figure out how I can get it to do that, if there's a possibility. But as I said, after we go traveling through over here, we're going to go this way and start cruising this way to wind up over here. In fact, I want to come around this way, because here's my thought. If I start from right here, you know, actually somewhere's over here, okay, and we go this way, maybe nobody's been this way. You know what I mean? So if the rest of everybody else that played the game traveled, you know, somewhere over here, if they were heading this way, and I come over here and go this way, maybe there's an odds I'm going to find stuff that nobody's ever found. Or, you know, another thing we could do, we could kind of go kitty corner, come around this way, shoot across like this, and then maybe zip across like this to find somewhere where they've really never been. I mean, I don't know. It's our whole galaxy, so I'm going to do like a weird little thing. I don't know if they put any space stations or anything in all this other area. I have no clue. That's something we're going to be finding out. Whoa! Anyways, let's go. And I'm gonna just flat unplug this thing. I'm not even gonna be using my headset at all, because like I said, it's first thing in the morning. It's 6:15. I just happened to wake up really early, so that happens sometimes. You know, you just sleep really hard and then you just completely wake up. You're like, let's do this. So, anyways, enjoy the ride. We'll be cruising around looking at things again. So see, are you seeing what that game is doing right now? I can't jump 91.6 light years, and I don't understand why it wants to see that. Because I'm clicking on the map to set up a deal for it, and it wants to be stupid and not break down my route. See, and that was what I was complaining about, because I'm doing exactly the same thing I just did. I'm clicking on it and plotting route. Yeah, I don't know. It's like the game just has a glitch right there, because if I'm doing the same exact thing, it shouldn't change anything. You know. But anyways, I just wanted to complain because I was ready to go, and it's telling me that I can't jump that far. So I might have to pick another system again, which is stupid.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay, I was just making sure this mic was on. You know, okay, so as I've said before, I'm older, so there was limited things that they taught me in science. But as I'm, you know, as I was sitting there looking at this, you have potentially 3 different kinds of suns. So I was sitting there trying to analyze this, and basically think about it as, if I was going to create a sun, how would I create a sun? Because we have 3 different kinds right here. So I was thinking to myself, well, if the sun itself had a gravity where it pulled in any kind of chemicals or anything which are within the environment around it, which would benefit it towards its capability of becoming a sun and recycling all the energy and stuff like that around it, it would benefit the sun itself, because the gravity itself would pull in excess particles that could be used as fuel, and then it could just basically be constantly fueling itself. And for some reason, I think that's how this works. That the gravity of each one of these suns is going to pull in, it's going to pull in specific stuff. So if it's a star that has a lot of methane, if we could see the environment around it, I bet you anything, if you could physically see the methane and everything, you would see it trailing right to it. Because how else is it going to get there? How else is this going to happen? There's no other way. I mean, unless you're going to connect an invisible tube to it and feed it, like you're feeding a gas tank on a car. So, and I don't know anything about nuclear fission and all this other stuff. I don't know hardly anything. You know, but that's the only way you could fuel one of these things up. If you have a constant source within the environment around it that's constantly feeding it particles that are basically going to turn into energy at the end of the day, and when it's burned, you just made it constantly alive. You know, it's you know, active. It's basically like connecting a solar panel up to an electric car. It's always going to have some energy as long as there's sun. You know, well, you're feeding it, you know, chemicals. Because they have different chemicals, you know. I mean, like I said, I bet you anything, if you could analyze the air around it and you could actually look at it through a certain kind of camera, if it was possible, I think you could see all these different methane and all this other stuff traveling right to that sun, you know, through space, and it's recycling everything. But like I said, I'll have to look that one up. I bet you I'm right, because it's the only thing I can come up with, you know, because it's not, I do not believe it's solid. You know, it could be liquid, just a big mass of liquid, but it would have to keep feeding itself somehow. It can't take the fuel, turn it into something else by burning it, and then have it be the same stuff when it comes out. That's not going to happen. So it changed it into something else. So there's another chemical reaction that's going on. Something else is pulling stuff in. So I'll have to look that up later though, but I think I'm right.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Sorry about that. My microphone got tangled up. Okay, anyways. No, what was making me think about that last subject was because look at this one. Okay, so again, we have only one sun. There's like no planets. I'm noticing a pattern here that there's a lot of them. See, I did not know this. I mean, I was expecting to see a lot more planets. And I'm seeing a lot of ice planets, and I'm seeing a lot of just a sun, or 3 suns, or 2 suns, and there's nothing else. And see, and that's what kept making me think about, well, how are you fueling all of these suns around our whole galaxy and our whole universe? Something has to be recycling all the energy around it, and the fuel and everything to keep these things going, because that just, it's physically... it would be impossible for something just to exist forever without a fuel source. So, like I said, when I went through science class back in 1980s, it's not like it is today, so you guys know a lot more about that than we do. But that's the conclusion I'm coming up to, is these suns feed themselves somehow. You know, and it's got to be the chemicals in the air. You know, the chemicals around it. It's sucking it all in and turning it into something else. So that's all I can come up with. But anyways, yeah, I've been really shocked at how many suns there are out there with no planets. It's very interesting.
Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging. Complete.
Okay, so I also want to explain something, and I know it sounds really weird because I'm going to go into a completely different topic, but it's completely related to this. Okay, so if you look at the way this planet is set up, I'm going to explain something to you guys, and it's going to completely make sense, and this is what I find interesting. So, okay, so these are going to be the satellites around this sun, okay? But if in this particular part of the solar system, if you have from this satellite on, if you had an energy signature that was coming across, coming out of space, and it was traveling towards that sun, now the planet or moon, whatever these are, as long as they're not gas, they're going to absorb excess energy that is coming in from space as it's traveling through, because it's rock. Rock always grounds. Now, when it gets to the asteroid belt, all of this fun stuff, that's nothing but rock. So what's going to happen is this is going to be like a filter, okay? And energy is going to be coming through, and it's going to cross through this asteroid belt, and then it's gonna capture a lot of that energy. Now, I never have been able to figure out why energy goes to rocks. Never been able to figure that out because I don't know why. I'm actually working on a theory that you could maybe, possibly, if you did it correctly, you could take the energy that was trapped inside of rocks that you basically filtered through, and I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to pull it back out, if that makes any sense. And I know somebody that just heard me say that might be going, hey, that might be possible. Because energy goes to rocks. Well, where does it go from that point? What does it turn into? What frequency did it just get modified to? Those are some of the things that I want to look up, and I want to start doing some more. I do scientific experiments. It's kind of cool. That's just what I do. I'm like the energy guy. You might as well just nickname me the energy guy. And you guys had no clue that I play video games. But anyways, so the energy is going to be coming in from space, and it's going to hit this filter, if you want to call it. And a lot of that energy is going to get absorbed right in here. Now, you could have different radiations and stuff like that, because we're dealing with all the stuff that's in space. But as I just told you, energy is going to go to rock. It's automatically always going to go to rock. And you know this because if you go out into your garden and stick your hands in dirt or grab a rock, you're going to feel your body being relieved of excess energy, and you're going to feel good because you just grounded yourself. So do you see how that just worked? So here's the filter right here. So the energy that's going to be going to the sun, you just filtered it. So you filtered out excess stuff that they didn't want, you know, and it just so happened that it was a part of the process because the gravity from this particular sun happened to pull these in. And now it has it in a set pattern, you know, based upon the gravity. So the sun actually creates the entire transaction. But all the excess instruments that it's using are also affecting the entire transaction. And that is what I always quote my phrase, the energy of the universe includes you. Because it does. And that's one thing that I mean, some people, when I talk to them, they would completely understand that. And then other people said, well, but I mean, how am I energy? They'll say something like that. And that's when the fun starts. Because I'm a scientist, I'll show people that they're really energy. Literally, and this is true, I have a plasma globe that is battery operated. The batteries are dead, but yet I have them hold it, and they're powering my plasma globe with the energy from their body, and they're running it, and usually about 3 or 4 minutes later they still can't believe that they're running it with just the energy in their body. And it's just, look at the way the look on their face changes, because this should not be working, and it is. And they're literally still holding this thing 3 or 4 minutes later, and it's still on. But as soon as they take their hands away, the thing's dead. It proves that they're energy. You know, that their body expels energy, and it's really there. Because they can see it. You know, they can see it in a different form right in front of them with the plasma globe. You know, that's why I bought that particular one, because I wanted to show people that they are. But like I said a few minutes ago, I'm basically the energy guy. I'm the guy that people ask, how does this work? You know, as far as energy is concerned, and how does energy affect the different items around it in its environment. That's what I do. That's my experiments and stuff. I'm kind of like a ghost hunter, but I mean, I have the equipment to do that, but I don't really hunt ghosts, you know. But anyways, let's get back to our little journey. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there because I thought it was interesting. You know, I started thinking about that little part of the solar system and how the energy would be affected based upon what's around it, you know. So, and I will always fully explain stuff like that to the best of my ability. And I do that in my videos when I'm explaining the process, you know, on how the different objects are affecting the EMF detectors and stuff. You know, if it's an output signal or whatever. Is it an incoming signal from another appliance that's now causing a bigger EMF field? You know, well, what's causing all this? So that's what I do, is I break down the entire environment and I show people. So, I know, it's different.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Okay, so I'm running into a roadblock here because I wanted to go this way and the map's not letting me. So I guess I'm gonna go this way now. Guess I'll just shoot across this way. Maybe, hopefully I can keep going this direction. Maybe it's because I'm kind of far out there. But of course I know that some of these places require me to have permits, but my problem is that it doesn't want to let me go around this area. You know, I can't cut through here very well. So, and we may have to go back to civilization. So, and then cut through going this way. See if we can find going that direction towards the center. Those nebulas that I was, all these different nebulas. So, yep, I gotta get another trajectory. We'll see if we can lock onto this one. Coal sack.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scoping. Fuel scoping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, basically I was going to say if anybody was curious. So my question would be is this. Okay, we got to follow this. So the energy that comes in out of the solar system as it goes into those rocks. Now, I'm going to think about the rocks that are outside. So the rocks that are outside of my house and in my room, they're going to absorb magnetic waves. But does the absorption of the magnetic waves cause the energy to go to the rocks? And also, what happens to the energy when it gets to the rock? Is it, when it passes through the rock, does it get absorbed, or does it come out as an alternate frequency? Those are my questions, and I want to find those answers. But the real, the main thing is that how much of the energy in the environment around these rocks would those rocks be able to absorb, and would they be more effective if they were on a planet, or is it still the same considering it's in space? So could each one of these almost on an energy level be considered a planet surrounded by planets? Does that make any sense? Because the magnetic waves coming off of the sun are going to affect these rocks. Because why? They're going to give it a certain trajectory. Okay? So that's my question. That's where I am on a scientific level. I need to know these answers. And there's good reasons for this. Because in my research, I'm trying to determine, is there really a possibility, yes or no, of paranormal activity that is related to an area of land? And do the rocks or the environment have anything to do with the ability for it to have a residue of paranormal activity? Now, I know I just laid it down pretty hard, but that's my question. Because I have a research experiment that I'm going to be doing pretty soon that we'll be filming. And that's what it's involving. So, yeah. I'm kind of out there. So, but it's cool being the energy guy because you discover some cool things.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage.
Okay, so what I've decided to do is I am going to stop this video. I'm going to produce the next video. To all viewers that are going to be watching this next video, understand that I am, you know, people do kind of nickname me the energy guy, and I will be having a class, and I will be discussing this video game with several forums. So I'm going to be throwing terms out there, kind of like what I was just doing, because I really got thinking about this, because I do have students. So I'm going to be using this video game as my reference. So I'm just warning you. So I mean, I'm going to be throwing things out there, and you're going to learn a lot about me that you did not know until you see this next video. So just bear that in mind. I'm warning anybody, you know, because I mean, it's different. It's really important, because in my research I need to explain things, and I'm breaking down the universe to be able to do this, because I have to be able to dissect an environment, and I have to be able to tell which way the energies are flowing within that environment. So this is, you know, I need to know these things. So I'm going to be asking them questions, and I'm going to see who responds to my videos answering my questions. So you understand, as my other viewer, I am a video gamer, but I do this because I'm kind of like an instructor. So yeah, get ready for that one. Anyways, thank you for viewing.